Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. We opened billions of years ago when the moon was just some big ball of gas in the sky. A village of cavemen led by Kingsor called the Cliff Tribe dress up like dinosaurs and sacrifice blonde women to their sun god Akova. That's not to say that they don't keep men in their blonde pond, but unfortunately for these lovely ladies their pics seem pretty skewed. It looks like they plan to just whack them in the back of the head and let their bodies fall off a cliff, but one gets all hysterical and I can't imagine why. She makes a right mess of the event and somehow manages to take an executioner out when dragging him over the cliff with herself, which is probably why they only choose the women for sacrificing if this dainty unarmed girl is taking out soldiers. The only blonde to be given a name is Sanna, and as the sun rises a strong wind picks up, pinning her busty self to the ground. With the tribe distracted trying to take shelter, she decides now is the time to make a run for it, but gets her tiny frame blown off a cliff. A group of men from another tribe just happen to be out here fishing where blonde hotties are known to be thrown into the ocean. I think that Sanna is exactly the kind of catch that they were hoping for, and she immediately takes a liking to the fisherman Tara. Leaving Murder Ridge, they bring her back to their village where the seaside tribe captured a plesiosaur, which is a difficult way to get food. Once the dangerous Nessie has been secured, they come down to the raft expecting a haul of fish, but are greeted by just another mouth to feed. Tara's already in a relationship with the tiny waisted Ayak, and nobody here kisses, they just rub faces or sometimes touch nips. They also use a 27-word language created specifically for this movie, making it damn near impossible to understand what the hell's going on. One thing for sure is that the word Necro means evil, which is what everyone dubs Sanna, but the tribe leader Ammon is like, nah, she good. Just then Nessie breaks out of her restraints and steps on a kid, but this is one hell of a lightweight dinosaur because he isn't turned into a pancake. Now free and at the edge of their village, the tribe are forced to fall back to their large tubs of flammable liquid. They drag burning sleds in front of the creature hoping to scare it away, but the vengeful monster just knocks them to the sides. A brave warrior named Khaku releases all of the flammable liquid at the feet of the plesiosaur, and his best friend throws a torch in it. Tara burns the creature alive, and even if he did just steal Khaku's kill that night, the tribe celebrate -1 pancake boy. The tribe eat good after the successful hunt when Ayak tries to arouse Tara, but his attention is on the new girl building her hut. He doesn't even glance at his woman and instead just brings over a slab of meat for Sanna as well as a random assortment of things like food. They say a bunch of gibberish that means absolutely nothing when Ayak shows up with her jealous self, so Tara's like, fine, I'll leave. Meanwhile, the Cliff Tribe continue their sacrifices, and we get our first catfight of the movie when two blondes try to volunteer the other. They're probably both just thrown over together before Kingsor explains through his crappy artwork that Sanna was rescued by the seaside tribe. He wants her to be recovered and sacrificed properly to their sun god, so he leads everyone down from the mountain to the coastline. In the morning, Sanna's left alone with some fish while Tara and the boys take the raft out, probably to try catch themselves another blonde. When the sky briefly goes dark, Ayak convinces most of the other women to blame Sanna for the cloud movement or shadows or something. She claims that the necklace and knife received from Tara are used for evil, or maybe just doesn't like that her boyfriend gave Sanna some bones. Either way doesn't matter because she straight up tries to shank this poor girl in the shallows for our second catfight of the movie. Khaku's wife Ulido is like half a foot above the rest, so tries to break them up, but Ayak is hell-bent on getting this kill. The moment Ammon shows up, the attempted murder stops and Ayak is made to give back the stuff as she's just being a big baby. Soon Kingsor and the Cliff Tribe arrive, but Sanna sees them coming and hides in her hut while the two leaders have a conversation. The intellectuals come to an agreement that the tribes combine forces, which is bad news for Sanna as she now must flee into the desert before being sacrificed. Ayak is all too happy to point out her hut, but upon realizing she's escaped, a team of hunters go after her led by Kane. While hiding up a tree, a slippery serpent surrounds Sanna but completely avoids her to go after one of the male hunters. I'd hate to be this guy, as his friends immediately give up trying to save him to continue searching for the blonde girl until coming across a cave. The hunters are suddenly attacked by a Chasmosaurus according to Wikipedia, as I probably would have just called this thing a Triceratops. It slaughters their whole team except for a badly injured Kane, who's left embarrassed that he lost to a dang herbivore. He must fend off the hungry vultures while Tara arrives home to learn that his side piece has run away because of this eyeballing stranger. Taking Khaku and a rescue party, they recover the still living Kane, but I don't understand why they keep messing with this dinosaur. Khaku gets himself horned to death, then Chaz charges at Tara, but he leads it off the edge of a cliff, causing it to plunge to its death, the poor thing. The best friend dies of his injuries and is burnt atop a funeral pyre on the shore before being sent out to sea for the fishes. That's when things go from tardy to the other tardy, as everyone in the village experiences a mass hysteria and begin flailing around in the sand. Some may blame the moon's formation for this lunatic event, but I blame Ayak for wasting all these good materials when she burns down Sanna's hut. Tara agrees and leaves the village by himself to track down the only other sane person on this insane earth. She's currently trekking through the jungle when coming across a real lizard with some cardboard crap that's been glued onto it. Sanna tries hide inside a carnivorous plant so it begins to digest her, but lucky Tara gave her a bone because she can stab her way out. Still holding a grip of her hair, Sanna must cut off a portion in order to escape and stumbles out of the jungle and into a nest. Since the parents aren't home and a storm's brewing, the fearless girl takes shelter inside a broken shell to curl up for the night. When Tara reaches the jungle, he finds Sanna's hair trapped beneath the carnivorous plant and assumes she's been consumed. He gives us the exact same look of despair as when Khaku died, just with a darker filter, and hope that we wouldn't notice. He returns to the tribe now they've all calmed down and delivers the hair to Kingsor, which is all it takes for him to call off the hunt. The next morning, when an egg hatches, a made-up dinosaur called Rhedosaurus returns and thinks this is her baby. Just like a good mom, it raises the runt just like her golden child, who gets domesticated by Sanna with lessons on how to sit. A long time passes and Kane goes on to marry Ulido once his wounds have finished healing. Sanna feeds herself by diving into the inlet near her camp and catching fish with her teeth, but eventually learns how to use her hands. One day she hears Reed in distress as Tara and his new best friend Kane have come across the creature while hunting. They manage to avoid being eaten, but only because Sanna calls her pet off and neither of the star-crossed lovers see the other before parting ways. The two hunters return to the combined village that now dye their blonde children's hair to protect them from being sacrificed. Tara still thinks of Sanna at the site of the blonde pond and one day gets attacked by what's apparently called a Ramphorinku. The ugly cousin of the pterodactyl carries him to its nest, where the hunter battles the creature with his spear until eventually damaging its wing. Tara kicks it off the cliff, then runs down to finish it off, but in a spot of luck stumbles upon Sanna with her tame dinosaur. He thinks that it's chasing her for food, so bravely charges down to save his woman from the beast, but Sanna just has to tell Reed to piss off. She then greets Tara with a few grunts, but her ability to control the dinosaurs has been witnessed by a hunter from the Cliff tribe. He was just off shagging some cave woman in the bushes and happened upon this scene, so relays her location back to Kingsor. Sanna has been living in a hole in the ground and recording her days in isolation, but Caveman doesn't care about art. Tara would rather just bone in the sand and begins living in Sanna's cave while taking regular dips in her private swimming hole. Eventually he figures that the villagers should be informed that he didn't die, so leaves Sanna again and returns to the coastline. They're all waiting for answers from Tara, who pretends he has no idea where Sanna is getting him yacked on by a woman named Ayak. They arrest him as an accomplice to blonde evil or something, and Ammon tries to plead for his release, but this tribe's moved on from listening to him. They now follow Kingsor's order to tie Tara down to a raft, set it on fire and push him out to sea, but another plesiosaur pops up like, "Hey, you guys killed my brother." It shatters the raft trying to eat him, but we'll just say that it was helping, and Tara's now able to swim to shore and stagger back to Sanna. She's able to drag him into her cave on the back of her bed, as this guy weighs about $150 and it probably takes a day or two to recover. Once healed, Tara's happy for all of about 2 seconds before realizing that Sanna has a fire going that'll surely attract attention. And sure enough, the tribe find them, so the pair try to escape by jumping into the inlet and sneaking through a little cove into the ocean. Unfortunately, they have that covered and chase them back to shore, where Sanna stumbles off a hill without even a freak wind from God this time. This leads to the most insane scene, as the filmmakers have pitted the lizard from earlier against a gator, so we turn tail and run. It's literally 8 minutes straight of this running around crap, showing off how much support this girl's lacking before the two are captured by hunters. They're really adamant on not just clubbing these two over the head and being done with it, giving Reed time to hear the screams of Sanna. The Rhedosaurus comes charging in and scoops her up, but then just runs away without so much as throwing Tara the keys. He's left to his own fate and taken back to the village, where the tribe doesn't intend to risk it with the ocean this time and instead just torch him on the beach. Mother Nature interrupts the execution again by dragging out the tide and deploying an invasion force of giant mud crabs. The cavemen stand no chance, and any that fight back are torn apart, so they just up and leave, intending to abandon the whole village. A massive tsunami builds on the horizon, so Kingsor begins playing Moses on the beach while Sanna shows up at just the right time. She manages to untie Tara just before a mud crab gets him, while the spitter falls into quicksand and gets swallowed up by the earth. The pair board a raft with Kane and Ulido to get away before the wave hits, but have a brief scuffle with Kingsor and a few of his men. They try to kill Sanna, suspecting that'll satisfy their god, but the only sane people in this movie manage to fight their way free. They safely float over the tidal wave. While it makes no sense why Ammon didn't go with them, he just drowns alongside everyone else. But when the waters recede, our four find themselves atop a mountain. The beginning of a new cliff tribe drop to their knees as the ball of gas they've been worshipping the whole movie forms into the moon. And the movie ends.